Your Steve Jones Show podcast is loading now. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Sunbury Motors, North 4th Street in Sunbury, and Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. Sports talk where your voice counts. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors studio, here's Steve Jones.
Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. You can go online now to sunburymotors.com. Check out their great line of Fords, Lincolns, Kia, Hyundais. Terrific new vehicles, and also their outstanding pre-owned inventory. You can look online, pick out something you really like, and you can get the process rolling from the comfort of your own home at sunburymotors.com. Andrew Marchand in a few moments from the New York Post. But first, our play-by-play call of the day.
Gagne for Leno. Leno to Richards. Richards' is shot redirected. Gagne shot. He scores! Simone Gagne! Can you believe it? Power play goal, and the Flyers all the way back now lead this thing 4-3. Giroux will clear the zone. This improbable, incredible comeback is complete. History made in Boston tonight. The Flyers defeat the Bruins 4-3. They are the third team in NHL history to come from behind after trailing a series 3-0.
And a great moment. They didn't win the Cup that year, but still a great moment. And he said, can you believe it? Yeah, I can, because it already happened. All right, so have a little fun with it. Andrew Marchand joins us from the New York Post. Andrew, welcome back. Again, we hope you and yours are well.
Thanks for having me. Same to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so Monday Night Football obviously is going to change. You had an opportunity at least to connect with Booger McFarland, who still has a couple of years to go on his contract. In the end, why didn't that work?
I think, number one, it was just an ill-conceived idea. Number two, they were too inexperienced. So 2 years ago, when Monday Night Football had their new crew, it was Joe Tessitore as the play-by-play guy. He had never called an NFL game. Jason Witten retired from the Cowboys. He'd never called any games. And then Booger McFarland was in the Booger Mobile on the sideline, and he had done a limited amount of games. And so you go into the Monday night booth, which is the most scrutinized probably booth in sportscasting in our country. And it's not the place to have on-the-job training. So that's what happened. And so it quickly was punished. Really because of what the decisions to put the crew together, less so than it being those guys' fault, in my opinion.
And in fact, there's talk about a prominent studio role. Is that where he probably is more comfortable?
I know he liked doing the games. This didn't make the article, but he did enjoy it. He said it was like second to, to being on the field. It's as close as you can get that or coaching. He rose at ESPN because of his studio work. So, studio and doing games is a much different avenue, as you know. I think he could excel there, and it makes sense. And I think if they put him in the right position, it could work out for him. But they're going to have to rehabilitate his image, and because he got hurt by not being accepted in a 2-year run on Monday night. I mean, that's going to stay with you in your career. He's going to there's ways to get it going the other direction, and it's possible, but there's some work to be done.
It's interesting because for years Fox, it may not have been a 3-man booth, but they had Tony Siragusa on the sideline, and they mixed him in. Tom Luganville in college is mixed in from the sideline more than really as an analyst along the way. They put him in the, quote, Booger Mobile, right? How tough was it for them to adapt having him being so far away from the other two guys in terms of communication?
Yeah, you just don't get the verbal cues and maybe even more importantly, the physical cues that you would if you're sitting next to each other. And so that's kind of was the biggest issue. And they had to work together. So if you're like three best friends who've known each other for 30 years and you tried it, maybe you know each other's, ticks and your personalities really well, and maybe you can go in and out. But when you're three guys, you didn't know each other at all, and you're trying to do that again on national TV, 15 million people watching, it's asking way too much. And here's the thing: football players are put in position all week in their careers. There's a game plan. And the whole week is about the game plan, and trying to figure out a way to win, the game on Sunday. And you want to be put in the best position to be successful, and they just weren't put in that position.
What now of Joe Tessitore?
He'll go back to college. What number in terms of their depth chart, that remains to be seen, but he'll go back to college where he's more suited. He's kind of a hype man, and so college lends itself more to that. The NFL, there's only 30 teams, right? 30 teams, and so you don't need to hype up everything. They're all good teams, even the ones that are going to pick first in the draft. And college, you got an upset. That's where you want to kind of bring the kind of WWE style to the telecast, and so that fits him, I think, a little bit better.
You also mentioned in here, and it's that Steve Levy is a leading candidate, and Levy has at least done the NHL before. But you talk about Tessitore being a college announcer. That's what Levy has been of late. So does he bring that same kind of deal to the table to Monday Night Football, because that's what he's been doing is college football?
Yeah, well, ESPN doesn't have the luxury of the other networks in that the other networks. CBS and Fox, they have guys on there and gals on their NFL play-by-play list that they could, in theory, call up to, from number 2, Ian Eagle with CBS or Kevin Burkhardt with Fox if they had an opening at the top spot. ESPN doesn't have other NFL games; they only have the one game. So you're going to have to go to the college ranks. Levy does have an NFL background. I mean, he's not as gifted a play-by-play guy as some others, but he's a long-time ESPN guy, does have an NFL background. So, it is a bigger stage. It's a tougher stage. But he's, I think, more likable maybe than Tessitore, so that could help him. But if you're looking at ESPN's decision-making, this position has been open twice before now, since Levy's become a play-by-play guy, and they've gone with Sean McDonough, and then they went with Joe Tessitore. So they passed him over 2 times earlier. Right now, I'd say he's the favorite, but could they go someplace else? I guess it's possible, but I think it's Levy's right now, unless if there's no college football season, or if it's a drastically reduced college football season, then maybe Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit just do it for this year.
That would be really interesting. Other names that you mentioned in your column as analysts: Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, and the possibility that a name that's thrown in there that Levy's worked with before, and that's Brian Griese.
Yeah, so I think it will be either one of those guys as the analyst or maybe 2. And I think you can make cases for all of them. No slam dunks, but they all have their merits as well.
All right, well, let me ask you, this is something that's also going to be critical. One of the keys to the fact that the CBA getting it done now, and they got it done 2 months ago, was that it then opened the door with 10 years of labor peace to then the next critical part, and that would be the TV negotiations. What's the initial read you have on TV negotiations as to how this could possibly fall out between ESPN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and or somebody like Amazon?
Well, first off, the plan was to go right into and get into these negotiations, which I think the NFL might still go forward with it, despite what's going on with the virus and the economy. But when you ask me it's hard to make predictions, I mean, quite honestly, but the one I could tell you is Amazon, I don't see being big players in terms of like an exclusive package. Will they continue to do Thursday night as a digital platform, yeah. I mean, they already signed a contract for that. But in terms of, like, seeing Monday Night Football go to Amazon, I don't think so. Now, they could write a check that's so big that maybe, maybe the NFL looks at it. I don't really see how that works in the Amazon business model. Like, I don't think they don't need it. Like, the idea is for them is to get as many Prime subscribers as possible, and they have a lot already. So, hey, I mean, maybe it makes sense, but I don't know. When you do the math, I don't know if they need it. So I don't think they're just going to just needlessly write out a check. Again, not impossible, but I think that's probably the next time around. Maybe Amazon becomes bigger players for live sports at that level. So that said, I think there might be some movement, but I do know that all of the networks, CBS, Fox, ESPN, I mean, they desperately want to keep what they have, and in every case except for CBS, which I think is happy just to stay with that Sunday package. I think NBC, Fox, and ESPN would like to add more if they can. And ESPN specifically, with Disney, under the umbrella of Disney, they would like to add a Super Bowl. And so I think you could see some Monday Night Football move back to ABC or something of that ilk, with ABC trying to get involved even more so.
You're reading my mind. I was about to ask about the ABC component in the Super Bowl, because as ESPN, as a lone entity, they're not going to get it.
Yeah, they're not going to probably put it on cable. And, I mean, you can just see there's a move back to broadcast. Fox is going heavy around live sports for their broadcast network. And so, it makes sense for ABC. Super Bowl is the biggest money maker. Obviously, costs a lot to get, but I mean the ad sales and just for a network, the momentum it gives it in the ad market for the whole year is pretty important. So it really doesn't make sense for how much Disney pays the NFL that they don't have a Super Bowl. I mean, that's something that they didn't get in any of these deals, and obviously cable has changed. The idea of having Monday Night Football on ESPN was, to be able to drive the cable fees even higher. Yeah. Now with cord cutting, in play, the move to ABC makes sense, and I do think ESPN very well will have football, but they don't necessarily even need the games. They need the ancillary programming, and then I shouldn't say that. They do need the games as well. Right. So, but they need both. So I could see Disney trying to get two packages.
Andrew, I want to ask you just about regional networks for a moment. And, of course, two big players in regional networks are Yes around you and SNY, for example. How they've been able to, quote, survive because, they want to have the, whether it's the Nets and the Yankees in combination or whatever, that takes up 260 nights of programming a year for them. And is there going to be a reduced fee if it's baseball because they're only doing half the games?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be reduced fees. But so you said surviving, and I guess I assume you mean financially.
Yes.
If you look at it, the subscription models, and cable is a subscription model, they really haven't been hurt as badly as advertising-based, especially things that are solely advertising-based, like radio or newspapers.
Right.
Which are not solely, I shouldn't say, but are pretty much are very reliant on advertising. That said, when you look at cable, I mean, their fees have not changed. Some people, their cord cutting has been exacerbated by this, I guess, epidemic because people have lost their jobs and then they look to cut, and the way of the world in terms of the move to digitalization. With some things that might have been 5 years away have been pushed up drastically, and which has caused, attrition in media and all fields pretty much. But so cable has gotten their money. So now the question is, and I do think when you look at the markers that they're setting 78 to 82, I don't know the exact numbers in these contracts, but I have a feeling they're around those to get the cable money for all these local teams with their regional sports network. I don't think that they're going to do these deals and there's no fans and then not be able to claim all of their money, or at least a large percentage of their money in their cable deals.
One final question that deals with sports inventory itself. Darlington will start up this weekend, and then eventually we will get the IndyCar at Texas, then we'll get the Pro Golf Tour. But if things were to fall in place, and it's a big if because we're all waiting to see, we're all playing the waiting game, you would have baseball, possibly the Stanley Cup playoffs, possibly the NBA playoffs, then the NFL season starts. Oh, and by the way, then there's going to be tennis, and then there's going to be golf tournaments, and there's going to be everything piled into once, which it could be the most active sports fall ever broadcast-wise. What is this going to mean for networks to have a Kentucky Derby and college football going on, the Masters in November with the NFL and maybe the NBA and NHL going on? What's that going to mean in terms of how networks are going to have to handle all this?
I think it will be great and welcomed mayhem for all of us.
Well done.
And God bless us all if we can get all of it on and everyone can stay healthy and we have this thing under control. So, yes, I think I've said this before on other shows. I'll say it here. When my kids were little, and anybody with little kids out there, I think this is a book, but if they say it on some of the little kids shows as well. When they talk to kids, they say you get what you get and you don't get upset. Well, I think that's the case. You know what I mean? You don't. Like people go, "Oh, it's not a real baseball season, only 82 games." Whatever. It's not. Football might not have fans. It's whatever. It's if we can play and people can be healthy first and foremost, then you get what you get and you don't get upset. So to answer your question, yeah, it will be a lot, but I think we all would welcome it, and hopefully we get to see it.
I welcome organized mayhem. Why not? I welcome it.
Exactly. It's better than this, right?
Exactly right. It's better than the alternative of what we're doing right now. My friend, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, your insight. Love your column always. It's always a must-read.
Great. I appreciate you, and hope everyone in your audience and you are all doing well and are healthy.
Thanks, Andrew. Andrew Marchand, New York Post. The King is coming up in the next half hour. There's no need for the King to weigh in on that email that was sent by Corey from Brewers Outlet. I mean, this is an awesome idea, don't you think? Slushies?
Absolutely.
6 flavors on tap?
Especially with tomorrow's weather. 83 here tomorrow.
83 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then he makes a mistake and he tells Jaws to stop by and taste test. I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm, Corey. Sometimes you say a sentence or you write a sentence and you want it back. That could be it. Oh, man, I would love to go to Brewers Outlet right now. Boy, how about that? We go over there. We should do the show over there and you get slushies and pickles. And
I'd be down for that.
Whew. Love it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more in a moment. I can hear the suit now. You better take a break. Here on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Great to have you with us. Brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. And go to sunburymotors.com to check out the great inventory of Ford, Lincoln, Kia, Hyundai, great new vehicles. Their pre-owned inventory, awesome. And you can buy online in the comfort of your own home at sunburymotors.com. Here's a story that is I understand the emotion of it, but it's the Blake Snell story. Have you looked into that at all? The Blake Snell story?
I haven't seen that, no.
He says he doesn't want to come back for less money than he's supposed to make. because of the danger. In other words, he wants his full salary. And that's not playing out well. Allegedly, 3 million more were added to the unemployment rolls today. It's 36 million. He has a 5-year, $50 million contract where he's scheduled to make $7 million this year. I mean, that's not a good look.
Taking your calls at 800-795-9565. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. Deal with the best. You can go online right now and do exactly that. Go to sunburymotors.com. Ford, Lincoln, Hyundai, Kia, great product lines, and an awesome pre-owned inventory. You can do all this from the comfort of your own home. You can look at it and say, you know what, that's awesome. I like it. Let's get the buying process going. And that would be at sunburymotors.com. One quick note I mentioned to Matt, by the way, about the slushies over at Brewers Outlet, which are going to be awesome. They're awesome. Suit went in there one day, ordered 10. They said, we hope you and your family enjoy it. He went, family? Okay. All right. With that, we bring in the king.
What up?
He's here.
I barely made it, but I made it. So.
Barely made it. Well, we're just glad
God.
you did.
The kids are away from school, so they tore up all the roads here, and now they're all under construction. And I'm like a quarter mile from my house, and they've got everything stopped. So I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Really?
So
it's not
anyway,
good.
how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm great. I'm great.
There you
Well,
go. Bat's doing great. Baby's doing great.
good.
Yeah.
How many grandchildren do you have now?
Me? 6.
Huh?
6.
6? Holy crap.
Lauren just turned 12.
No,
Collins?
she's the oldest.
Yep. Colin's 8. Ben's 4.5.
So it's possible.
Ryan's 3.5. Madeline is 19 months, and little June is coming up on 7 months.
Oh, cool. They call her June?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, in like 8 years, you could be a great-grandfather.
I hope not.
How cool is that? You know, and then there's a possibility you could be a great-great-grandfather at that point.
Yeah, I know.
One at a time here.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit back with a bucket of popcorn and watch. I think it's funny.
No.
Good for you. You did good. Oh.
I am the spoil 'em grandfather. So, you know.
That's your job.
And I'm one of those that, the parents will get a little upset, and I'm one of those like, oh, they could do no wrong. It's okay. No need to raise your voice.
How's the alcoholic dog doing?
Oh, I'll tell you right now, it's upstairs sleeping it off right now.
Come again?
Oh, yeah, he's drunk all the time, this dog, man. You got to see him. It's so funny.
Okay.
He tried to get it to come into the house is like docking a spaceship. Come on, a little closer.
He looks at his eyes are crossed. He staggers around.
I'm going to need some photo evidence of this.
Oh, this dog is going to be, let's see. I will have had this dog for 16 years, so it's coming up on its 18th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got him from, like, Germany, right, or somewhere?
Hungary.
Hungary?
Yeah.
Does he speak English yet?
I can tell you right now, it takes no commands in English.
So it's an immigrant. How about
all
that?
the time. It's all I don't even understand you.
I mean,
He's really adorable. He's really funny. So.
No. The dog and I are really. I kid around all the time. It's the perfect foil because it can't answer back. So.
You got to hear him, Matt, talk to this dog. It is so funny. Oh, my God.
I certainly will have to do that now.
You have to say it's absolutely hilarious. He talks to the dog like it's drunk, and it's so funny. Laugh out loud. So.
I'll look over, and it'll like be going around. So he says, "You can't even walk a straight line."
What's he drink? Vodka?
Oh, you name it. It's got a flask in its bed.
The dog looks at you, and you're like, "Wow, man, you're wasted."
Oh, I love the dog. So what the heck?
It's a good dog.
It is a good dog. It's been a good dog. So.
Our dog got a dog carrier this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pink, and you can put her in it and walk her around like a baby. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like King Tut now. So.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I have a fenced-in yard. I'm not carrying it anywhere.
No, we got a fence in there, but Claire likes to walk, and they walk all over the place. And then after a while, she gets tired, so you can just throw her in the cart and drive her around like a little princess. So it's neat. It's pink, and she got in a fight 2 weeks ago with two other dogs.
All right, there we go. It's got a little Jones in it.
And now you just roll her by that house, and she middle claws him. You know, there you go. Oh, Claire, they beat her up now. They are now. So, this is like Wild Kingdom here. They had a hawk swoop down at her.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, we're in Wild Kingdom. I mean, it's all the woods. The forest is owned by Yukon. So,
right.
And the forest is the border between us and Yukon. So this place, the town's deserted. Without the students here, there's nobody here. So.
Oh, no. We have, obviously, here, and we have 45,000 students. Now, not all of them are gone.
Yeah, there's about 1,000 still here.
Right. Now, there's still about, there's about 700 living on campus, but there are a bunch of young people that came back to this area after spring break because they have apartments.
Well, I tell you, the traffic is double what it was 2 weeks ago here.
Yeah,
people are reopening their
here.
companies without, they're tired of listening to the garbage that they're coming up with, the rhetoric and they're around here, they're letting the restaurants open for outside only.
Okay. It's going to be nice, though. I mean, I'll say this is going to be nice.
No, but understand a restaurant, in order to make money, has to be at 80% occupancy.
Oh, I know that. Oh, I know.
They're just going to lose money, and it's just, and you know that $600 stimulus that the federal government threw on everybody's paychecks, their unemployment. So you're asking these people to come back to work and make minimum wage, and they lose $600 a week, and the owners are losing their shirts by opening. Just let them. You've trained us well. We wear masks. We keep distance. We'll let us be adults, and we'll work our way through it. I heard on WEEI this morning. This guy's good. This Greg Hill. I don't know if you ever heard of him. But he replayed Ronald Reagan's speech, and Ronald Reagan said, the government lays out a plan for you. The government gives you statistics. The government gives you suggestions, and then the government gets out of the way and lets you do it. And that's not what's happening now. They are talking to people like we're little children, and they're going to protect us from this big, mean virus. And the virus is not going away. So we're going to have to live with it, and we're going to have to live a different way. but you got to let us do it. You just can't. We'll let you open a restaurant outside only, and at 50%. So if 25% of your business is outside, now you're allowed to open up outside, but at 50% of that. So you can open up 12% of your business. It's just going to cost these guys a fortune to open. And if they don't open, they get forgotten. So
exactly. Did your state just fire the health commissioner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, no reason. I'll tell you what the reason was. She told him what he's doing, he's crazy. And nobody tells this guy what to do. He's a jerk, period. His commission is his wife's business partners. Okay. There's not one legislator, Democrat or Republican, on his committees, or he's turned the whole thing into a little dictatorship like he's a king.
This is the state.
Just so
everyone knows, this is the state of Connecticut he's talking about. That's why I was asking, because I thought I read yesterday the health commissioner got fired. Geez.
Yeah. Wow. And he won't give a reason. He said it's time to move on. Okay. Sure, he's like a little king.
What?
Well, he defines a politician who loves this. In other words, he's getting all of this attention, and he's in charge, and he's keeping me and my wife safe. He's keeping our dogs safe. He's, because we're incapable of doing it ourselves. So.
No. Hard liquor's keeping my dogs safe. All right, so let's take a break. Let's go full circle on the joke. All right, we'll come back with more in a moment on News Radio 1070 WKOK. When it comes to car buying, there's the other guy's way, and then there's the SMC way. The other guys force you into a vehicle you really don't want. The Sunbury Motors way lets you take the time you need to browse, ask questions, and take the test drive and think on it. For over 100 years, the Mertz family and all their employees have made your experience the most pleasant one you'll ever have. The other guys won't offer you the best price for your trade, no matter how much they say they will. The SMC way is their promise to provide you with the most money the market shows your vehicle is worth. The SMC way is to offer you all applicable factory rebates on new vehicles and generous discounts. Looking for a pre-owned vehicle? The SMC way checks each vehicle with a 200-mile radius to determine the lowest price, then beat it. It's the lowest price promise, just part of the SMC way. The choice is up to you. The other guy's way or the SMC way. The SMC way wins every time. Sunbury Motors Company in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury, and at sunburymotors.com. Selling more cars and satisfying more customers for over 100 years. Welcome back. Great to have you with us on the show today. Time out for a little trivia. That's why we're doing it today. Matt's not going to be here tomorrow. So since Matt's not going to be here tomorrow, we wanted to do this today because Matt has loaded up on many, many questions.
Of course. I have come prepared.
Oh. Unlike the host.
Me too, man. Bring it on.
I'll make mine up as we go.
Shall I lead it off then?
Yes.
Okay. Who was the first player to win consecutive NBA MVP awards since MJ in 91 and 92?
Consecutive?
Consecutive NBA MVP awards since Michael Jordan.
I will say Shaquille O'Neal.
Kev.
I'll say Seth Curry.
Tim Duncan is the correct answer. In 2002 and 2003.
It's my other choice. That was my other thought, was Tim Duncan, who's yeah. Right? What, 5 question. NBA titles. 5 NBA titles, yeah.
Good question.
And this year's Hall of Fame class, too.
In it to win it. Who's up?
I'll go next. Cy Young is number 1 all-time in victories in Major League Baseball. Who is number 2?
Walter Johnson.
Outstanding. Well done.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely was not going to say that.
417.
I was right. Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. The great Walter Johnson.
Bring it on, baby. Okay. How many teams won more than 100 total games during the 2000s decade, and that's current, between the year 2000 and 2020, and football, NFL.
What 100 games?
Yeah, have won over 100 games in the
Total.
2000 era.
Yeah, okay.
How many teams and who are they?
Let's see, the Arizona Cardinals are out.
Yeah, you could eliminate a lot of them. The Giants are out.
Yeah, the Giants are out. Obviously, the Patriots are one.
Yes.
The Steelers would be another one.
Yes.
The
Eagles are definitely one.
Attaboy, Matt.
Yeah,
That's the one I didn't think you'd get.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. One more.
One more. Let's see. I'll go on a completely different tangent. I'll say the Baltimore Ravens.
Matt?
I'm going to say...
The Packers?
I was actually going to go with the Saints.
No. Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Of course.
Yeah. When you hear it, you're like, oh, my God, how did I not get that? You know.
Well, except when they were down and out, they were down and out.
Yeah, they had a bad year here or there, but they won.
Yeah.
They actually won the most.
And then
Indianapolis has 115, New England 112, Philadelphia 103, and Pittsburgh 103.
Wow.
No.
All that and only one Super Bowl title for the Eagles. All right. Matt. Matt's like,
Hey,
at least I got one.
Yeah, I did, and I actually did do that especially because of all the early years with Andy Reid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Won a lot of games, but never always bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Muhammad Ali retired from boxing in 1981. What is his career record?
I will say that I don't know how many wins, but I'll say he had 3 losses.
Close on the losses part.
I'm going to say...
Okay, 4 losses?
It's 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 5, and I think he had 38 wins.
55. 55 and 5.
55?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know he had that many fights.
He lost to Joe Frazier.
He was in jail for a while.
He lost to Leon Spinks. He lost to Ken Norton. He lost to Trevor Berbick.
And he lost to the champion there. Remember, he didn't want to... Oh, my God. It's the guy from Pennsylvania.
And Joe Frazier.
No.
He lost to Joe Frazier.
Didn't want to hit him anymore. Oh, my God. Mom and Dad saw him training up at the Granger Hotel. Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes. That's right, he did. Yep. Lost to Larry Holmes. Yep. Yeah, in fact, I met Larry Holmes, for goodness sakes. Larry Holmes was up here in Phillipsburg about a golf tournament one day I was at. Yeah.
Remember that fight? He kept looking at the ref. He said, I don't want to hurt him. And he said, please stop the fight, you know. And Muhammad just kept coming, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Good question.
Yeah.
Matt, you come armed today. That was a good question.
I tried.
Okay, Steve-O, you're up.
You got to give us credit for figuring out who he lost to, though.
Yes, that is exactly right. You can definitely get bonus points for that.
What name the last team to defeat Sandy Koufax when he pitched?
I am going to go with the Mets.
Okay. Matt.
I'm going to go Padres.
The Baltimore Orioles. It was in the World Series.
Oh, wow. Good question.
Jim, and the winning pitcher was Jim Palmer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good question. Who was the only team, this is back in the NFL, Who's the only team to end the decade with a 500 record overall?
In football?
Yes, NFL. They were 80 and 80.
I will say the Dallas Cowboys.
And
I'm going to go Rams because of all those years with Jim Fisher minus 1999.
nope. Jets.
Oh, that's not so. That's a good one, too. Yeah.
The Jets?
That's the typical Jets. There's 500.
The Jets?
Yeah, the Jets. I mean, they suck most of the time.
When were they? I guess with Mark Sanchez, they made the AFC Championship game back-to-back years.
Remember they beat the Patriots? No.
Yeah.
They had back-to-back. Parcells was the coach.
Yeah, well, back when
Rex Ryan.
What's his name?
Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was the coach.
Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won a lot of games. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, my last one is also football related. What was the first Super Bowl to use Roman numerals in its title?
5. Oh.
Close.
6.
3.
3.
Really?
Yes, Super Bowl 3 with the Ravens, the Colts, and the Jets.
Okay.
Wow. Good questions.
Yeah. How about that? Super Bowl I.
Yes, because it said the previous two were called the AFL, NFL,
NFL, AFL World Championship game. Yeah. In fact, if you look at the center of the field at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, that's what it says on the field. Super Bowl 3.
I remember that.
And there's just remember, there's no I in team, but there's an M and an E. All right, so. Great job, gentlemen. Fun.
Thank you. Yes,
That's
that was a
fun.
good round.
Good job. Can't wait for next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Matt gets the day off tomorrow. Something about Barbados. Don't know what that means. I'll try not to tell Governor Wolf. Today's show brought to you by Sunbury Motors. 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. And go to sunburymotors.com.